Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock of the Emerald Planet and Emerald Planet TV. We come to you on a week-to-week basis from Washington, D.C. in the United States as we look around the globe in 144 different nations, looking for those 1,000 best practices, the technology, services, and products that are making a difference as we move through the 21st century. And as we have a planet of 9 billion people by 2038 and possibly 12 to 13 billion by the end of this century, how are we going to be able to take care of all these people on planet Earth? And that's what Emerald Planet's all about. We come to you looking at the solutions, the best practices from around the globe as we create the Emerald Planet. Hello, welcome to the Emerald Planet. We're making a difference as we move through the 21st century. And seeing the long-term impacts of climate change. We're glad to have you. Thank you for being with us. Looking at the country of Nepal, what can be learned from the people there? How can that be applied not only in Nepal but around the globe? And how do we actually develop principles and concepts and ideas, but also best practices which can be universal, coming from a very ancient and traditional society, but yet in many ways is quite progressive and willing to change when change is important. And a gentleman that's going to be talking about this is Dr. Malcolm J. Odell Jr. He is the Evaluation Training and Sustainable Development Specialist for Appreciative Planning and Action Consulting, APA. And we're talking about conflict resolution, backing that into development and to community improvement. So what's this about conflict resolution? And this is a process that there's even entire curricula around this, but you've done this in a more simplistic but a very profound way. Tell us about that.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, after we developed the basic method up in Makalu.
Now what are the basic methods? Let's go over that, those three principles.
Those three questions.
Okay.
What's working? What's even better look like? And how do we get there?
I want to do it one more time.
What's working?
Mm-hmm.
What are the successes? What's even better look like? What do you want for your children and grandchildren?
Got it. Okay.
And how are you going to get there?
Right. Okay. Super. Now going to the conflict resolution, this all centers around a hydroelectric dam.
Yes.
And why the hydroelectric dam and why conflict resolution?
I had an opportunity, having spent time at Makalu, to be invited down as social science expert and health and well-being or something like that. I don't know what I was supposed to be, bringing applied social sciences into this hydroelectric dam project. And not long after I got there, the project was building a huge hydroelectric dam, and they built a beautiful road into the dam site, paved road, lovely road going in, and trucks and bulldozers and all kinds of equipment racing up and down this road past about 20 villages. And the villagers began to protest. They said, look, you're going to build this beautiful dam. What's in it for us? Mm-hmm. All this equipment going by, and we're sitting here in our villages. We need schools, we need clinics, we need agriculture, we need all kinds of things. And what are we getting? And they said, oh, you're going to get electricity. Oh, yeah, okay, we're going to get some light bulbs in 5 years. Yeah, well, big deal. But meanwhile, like, we got sick kids, and we got, anyway, they decided to strike and block the road. And they shut the project down. And when you shut down a multi-million-dollar project, it runs to about $1 million a day. Lost.
That's real money.
That's real money, yeah. And so we, the social science experts, were called upon. What can you do? Go out and persuade those people to stop protesting. And we said, we can't stop them from protesting, but we can go out there. Let's try a little appreciative planning and action. Mm-hmm. So we went out and we
Going back to the three questions
went
again.
out there and found all these angry villagers all gathered around, and we said, maybe we could have a little meeting and discuss some things. And we said, first of all, what is it you love about this village? What do you love about this environment? Oh, they got really excited and they began talking about it and telling stories, drawing pictures of what it was. And then we said, okay, what is your dream for your children and grandchildren? oh, they had all these ideas, and they went to clinic and schools and this and that and the other thing. And one of the things they had was a community forest. They wanted a community forest adjoining their village, so they'd have timber, fuel wood, and so forth. And so we said, okay, that's your dream. How are you going to get there? Well, we're starting the community forest, as a matter of fact. That's our #1 priority. And we're all taking turns to provide social fencing. And we said, what the heck is social fencing? And the village headman says, social fencing means that everybody in this village, every day, one of us takes turns, and we patrol the area of the park, of the new forest, and we keep the animals out, keep the goats out, keep the sheep and so forth, and we protect the seedlings so they'll grow, because we can't afford fencing, okay? Great. Well, we said, how are you going to get there? Well, we're going to continue planning and protecting this area. We hope it'll be a beautiful thing for our children, grandchildren. But we really we need to get seedlings. Mm-hmm. And I turned to my staff. I said, aren't we raising seedlings to reforest the areas we're destroying with our bulldozers? Oh yeah, we could help you with some seedlings. Oh, you could help us with some seedlings? Oh my God, get out the drums and dance. And next thing you know, it was raining like an Alfred Hitchcock movie. It's raining and the people are pouring out, bringing out beer and tea and everything. And they're having a big party celebrating. And that was the end of the protest. No protests ever again. They were going to get a community forest. Skip ahead about a year, and the project's going on. The villagers are all engaged. They're all helping out with the project, and they love it. And they're planting trees like crazy. And they came and they said, you know, this beautiful road, when you guys are gone, the first monsoon's going to take it out. We've got to protect this road for our children and grandchildren. Mm-hmm. And we're ready to plant trees along both sides, and they'll help stabilize that road. And if you could just provide some seedlings, we'll plant them. And they planted 62,000. The women planted 62,000 trees.
62,000 trees. That is incredible.
And 25 years later, that road is still there. Monsoons, earthquakes, landslides, that road is still there. Model Green Road became the foundation of a Green Road movement in Nepal.
That is absolutely fantastic. But looking at the face of these children and their future, but also looking at this as from the past.
Yeah.
How does this change these societies, these communities, so that they're looking forward, okay, we have these 3 questions, and we don't need a Odell coming in here and earning his 7-figure income from coming in here.
Exactly.
We can ask these questions to ourselves.
Exactly.
So how do these children learn these skills?
And that was the beauty of APA. Once we done it with them, they knew it. We didn't have to teach them. Mm-hmm. And remember, we're only asking questions. They have the expertise. They have the knowledge. They just need to discover that they've got the knowledge and celebrate it for themselves.
Yeah. But looking at these children, how do you pass this on so this becomes part of the culture, not something that's just added on to the culture?
Well, the fact is that in Nepal, this method took off like gangbusters because it was showing to be totally successful. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you about the Women's Empowerment Project in a minute. But they started using this, and then we began training. We trained trainers, and then we trained all our staff. Then our staff began to train other staff. Mm-hmm. And then our staff got in touch with Marcia's, my wife's, Women's Empowerment Project down in the Terai, and they said, this method might be useful for women's empowerment, because we're empowering these villagers, and they're building trails and latrines, and they're doing all kinds of stuff.
Oh, planting trees.
Yeah, and they're planting trees. So she said, no, I don't want my husband messing around with my project, and this appreciative inquiry stuff is a lot of Pollyannish, touchy-feely good stuff. Women have real problems. Mm-hmm. And then she went to Bali on an assignment with her company. They had a meeting, and they left her local staff. She was the only expat, and they left the local staff in charge. As soon as she left out, when the cat's away, the mice will play. They came down. They said, "Come on, show us how to do this." And so we went out to a village. We said, pick the nastiest village you can think of, where people are really depressed and not very cooperative, and then let's get 7 people, and we'll each go out and ask some questions into the village. And we got them, and I said,
And we see a photograph of this, actually, this process going on.
there it is. And we got in the vehicle, went out the village, and then I said, before we left, I said, if I can't teach you how to do this in 20 minutes, you can never take this to 125,000 women, which is what you're trying to do. Mm-hmm. So you got to learn this. So I sat them around and we drank tea, and I said, okay, here's the first question. You're going to ask this one. Who's going to ask the second question? Who's going to ask the third question? And then, by the way, we got a couple others that we'll bring along the side. And we taught them how to do this, went out to this village, and in 2 hours, this village was mobilized for ecotourism. They wanted people coming through. They wanted trekkers to come through. That was their dream for the future. But they said, this village is filthy, dirty, paper bags blown in the street, plastic, and it's a mess. Let's all, look, the tea's not here yet. The tea's not here.
So this is always the excuse. When
yeah.
a tea doesn't show up, it's time to go do something.
That's
correct?
right. So let's go out, everybody collect some of the junk and bring it here, and we'll have a bonfire. And then, by the way, who's got a drum? Let's dance. And that was the next little question, Joey. Who's got the drum? Let's dance. And they would dance and celebrate. And then they said, come back in a month, and we're going to show you our latrines, and we're going to show you a clean village, and this, that, and the other things. And we got in our vehicle to go back downtown, down to the city, Kathmandu. And the team, my team of 25-year professional community development experts from Nepal, all very, very experienced in community development, they looked around each other. What the hell happened? We've been doing this for years, and never have we gone into a village that they don't ask us for something. These people only asked us to come back and see their latrines.
Yeah, and that's in a month. And it's amazing how it's in a month, come back, and we'll be ready for you.
Show us. And so anyway, when Marcia came back from Bali, they said,
which is your wife.
My wife.
Reintroduce her.
Yeah, reintroduce Marcia. They said, come on, Mem Saab, come on, Mem Saab, out to this miserable village out here, another miserable village, and we're going to show you how this method works. And the next thing you know, these people are going to build a school, and they're collecting rocks, and they're going to carrying them up the hill to start building a school. And then everybody's singing and dancing. I think you might see a picture of her.
Yeah, we got it going right now.
We got her going there. It's a dancing. And so she said, sold. And we then began to train all her staff. She had about 100 mainline staff and 800 village workers.
That's an incredible number of personnel.
Yeah, and we trained them all in the APA method because it's so bloody simple. We had to teach them 3 questions and a couple extras like what to do, what can we do right now to get started, and who's got a drum? Let's
I was going to
dance.
say, and who has the drum?
Who has the drum? Let's dance. And they
But
did
looking at these villages, I mean, these are absolutely pristine areas. You see people walking, through the fields and all that. So we're just about out of time, as always is when we get together and talk. So looking at this APA and what you've done as far as women empowerment, and we're going to deal with this a little bit more, but what is the long-term benefit of all of this? What am I hearing in your words that says we can do this, 3 simple questions, find the drum and do the dance, of course, and this is the outcome?
Very simple, because what the long-term outcome is that people can take this themselves and do it. And I can tell you, when they took it to the Women's Empowerment Project, they went out to do a survey, and they were training everybody in the method and to survey how are they doing the first 18 months of the project, 125,000 women. And what are you doing? Are you able to write your name yet? Because it's literacy, savings, and enterprise. Can you write your name? Have you learned to read? Starting to keep track of numbers. Do you have a business? Did you make any money this month, or so forth? And the team came back and they said, these women, in 18 months, they're starting to read, write, but they've created 60,000 businesses.
That's incredible. 60,000 business.
And she said, no, impossible. Go out and do it again. That's a bunch of baloney.
Hold that thought. This is Mac Odell, this APA. Thank you for being with us as we look around the globe to create the Emerald Planet.